Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I am Noctair, your host. If you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button down below. Help me build this channel up. And you'll note that I have a Patreon account now. It's patreon.com/Noctair. Got a link in the description below as well as the end of the video. So I've been spending a lot of time playing Clash over the last couple of weeks, and most of it has been spent on my other games, especially on the home village. So I managed to get back over to Oz Builders and my main game, my Noctair game. And what do I see but Dorian has basically created himself a new strat. He's taken the GiBoCC strat, which is Boxer Giants and Bombers and Cannon Carts, and he swapped out one camp of Boxer Giants with one camp of Super PEKKA. Now, it's not like this is something we didn't see coming, but it's the way he uses it that really works out awesome. We start off first and foremost with this eyebrow base, and I know some of you guys have seen this because some of you have talked about it. I know I see it all the time. It's kind of become a fairly common meta base, and we're going to be doing an episode on this base where we just talk about how to beat it. And Dorian beat it with a 3-star hit using this new strat of his. And we've got 4 replays, and each one of them, it's roughly the same. We start off with running, of course, the Boxer Giants to kind of soak up any kind of damage from the defenses. And then in go those Bombers to disrupt the pathing that's built into the base by taking down the walls. Behind them come our Cannon Carts in a protected space. And then he drops his Super PEKKA to go in and wreak a little havoc after other things are going on. Now watch where the Super PEKKA goes in each of these replays. On this one, he came in at the top, walked straight across the top right in and took out the giant cannon, which just opened it up for really for everything else to happen with this attack. And I mean, he's got stuff being flung all over the place by these these push traps, but it doesn't matter. In the end, he still pulls out that 3-star and gets those last couple of buildings before his time runs out, which is absolutely positively awesome. Right now, Dorian is running around 5,300 trophies, give or take, because you know how that goes when you're actively playing. You go up a little, down a little, and so forth. So he's hitting some pretty good, solid bases here. These are typically max or near max bases. Yeah, maybe the defenses are max, but a couple of the walls aren't. Like here we see, we've got a mix of walls on this one. And these are good, solid players, too. So we're seeing some really good play out of this strat up toward the top. And Dorian's one of the better players. I mean, he usually gets, I think he's getting around 5,800, maybe a little bit more each season. So he's just kind of cruising that 6,000. He's right up there. And this is no exception. I mean, we're about midway through the season, so we're seeing the higher level players here. So same thing as the last one. Notice that Super PEKKA is coming in across the top and working its way in. Going to go in and hit that giant cannon again. Boom. You've seen some other players do this where they'll put a Super PEKKA in with their other strats, and he typically distracts the giant cannon. But that's not what's happening here in these couple of replays that we're seeing. And there'll be times when it'll distract it, and that works out well too. Don't get me wrong. You can do that with this strat as well. But the point is, it's taking out the giant cannon and opening up the ability for these troops to last a little bit longer and work their way into the base. I gotta say, when I run my Cannon Carts, the #1 problem I have is that stupid giant cannon taking out my Cannon Carts because they bunch up, and it never fails. They always go right behind whatever it is the giant cannon is targeting. So getting that spread, the spread of the giant cannon or the Cannon Carts against that giant cannon will really keep your Cannon Carts alive longer. And then when you add into that the actual giants that are going to, knock on wood, distract and soak up the damage, and then bringing in that Super PEKKA that goes in and takes it out, works great. We've seen a couple diamonds. Here is an asymmetrical base, and this is another one. I want to say I've seen this one maybe 1 out of every 10 or 15 attacks this season. And it's not always this exact version of it, but it's something very similar to this. And again, if you look at it, kind of in a box sense, you can see the same basic layout of the defenses. That giant cannon up the top. Notice he brought the Super PEKKA in from the right side here. And this time it is going to serve as the thing that soaks up the hits from the giant cannon. But it's still going to go in and take out the giant cannon again. It's going to work its way up. Well, the cannon cart helps out a little bit there too, right? But it works its way right up across that top angle of the base, just like it did in the other two replays, and that allows some of those troops to stay alive a little bit longer. And then the big blast at the end finally finishes off the builder hull itself for that kind of clutch win. Gets us up to, is this one 81%? Yeah, I think it is. Yep, 81% 2-star. Another great result. I mean, we've got a 3-star, a 92% 2-star. This one's 81, and this last one that I've got for you, this is a 79% 2-star. This is actually kind of an interesting base. You remember the first base we saw was that eyebrow base that's become a meta base? Well, this is kind of the same base, but flipped upside down with the walls. And the thing that's interesting about the base is that the builder hull is still up toward the top, so it's kind of like a partial reversal. And that's interesting because it changes the flow of the base significantly, because obviously the walls are what control the general flow of troops, well, along with your defenses and that, depending on how you got them laid out and what troops hit where. But he does the same thing with this, brings in his Super PEKKA along that kind of top edge where the giant cannon is. It works its way in, takes out the giant cannon. Everything else is coming in from behind. You had your cannon carts there in that protected space. More walls going down with the bombers. Bombers are even helping take out some of the different defenses along the way or other buildings. This last bomber is going to work his way up to the top there and take out that army camp as well. Keep your bombers alive. They always end up taking out a couple of extra buildings or helping along the way. It's a great way to go. And this one ends up with this last couple of percents, and boom, there we go. 79% 2-star. Not too shabby, Dorian. Well done. So, we got a new strat here, guys. A little bit of a variant on another one, but it works out really well, and it's got its own unique flair that makes it work. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thanks a lot for sticking around to the end. Comments, questions down below. Feel free to hit me up an email, knockterror@gmail.com. And on that note, I got a lot of work to do, man. These guys are way ahead of me. I got to seriously hit my builder base. Do some pushing. I'll talk to y'all later. Keep on clashing. Bye-bye.